Yes, I'm good on the microphone because this is about community radio. Welcome to Why March When You Can Write. I'm Nathan Summers and I'm going to talk about community radio and also doing a punk show on community radio for 22 years, which I've just finished. I have many interests. I'm an artist and a musician, but I also have a great interest in the natural world. I know a lot about native plants and bush foods, and I have a big interest in agriculture, which in the mountains includes breeding rare breeds of chickens. There you go, lovely cradling machine. As mentioned, I'm an artist and a musician. I have played drums and bass since a teenager. I had a father who played drums, and you're going to see me playing drums in various bands. And next, I can play lots of styles. There's me playing drums in different bands and doing different things. I can do lots of styles. I can play fast. I also play guitar, didgeridoo, and barong. I've always been playing with different people, but did serious gigging back in the early 90s. This is when I played drums in a punk band called Smut, and they were originally from New Zealand and had a female vocalist, and they were a very good political band. I also played drums for a hardcore band called Savage Cabbage, which were fast and light-hearted. I've since dabbled in other bands as well, including Groovinator with Pete down the back there. I've been involved in community radio for a long time. This is with a radio station based in Gladesville called 2RRR, Ryde Regional Radio. Community radio is very important and well worth supporting, and I would encourage you to listen and support the Radio BlueMtns 89.1 FM. Community radio gets enthusiasts in all genres and subjects, and a very good way of getting a real deal on something and proper exposure to local talent and topics. It's also a brilliant way to keep your record collection active. Ryde Regional Radio is one station that has a very representative cross-section, from jazz to country. Since it began, it always had heavy metal nights on Mondays, back in the 1980s. In 1993, I commenced presenting a punk show on 2RRR on the Monday night slots, and continued up until 5 months ago in February. Punk is a passion of mine. There's Koo and Andy from Toys Went Berserk. Punk is a passion of mine, which I'll soon explain why. Back in 1993, I felt there was a real need to get the message and the culture out there. At that time in Sydney, there was very little representation, I thought. There was a show, however, on Radio Skid Row, run by a guy called Brett Hutchinson, and there was also a show on 2SER done by a guy called Raymond DZ, who's down the back of the room here, my alternative music show, which is still going. But nonetheless, there was a need to get something in the suburbs. And whenever I mention punk to people, the comment always comes, are you into the Sex Pistols? And that's when you have to roll your eyes. There's a whole world of exciting stuff which goes far beyond the Sex Pistols. It is more than noise. Whilst it is music that is often very fast and heavy, it actually has a philosophy to it, and quite political as well. I got my first exposure to it through listening to 2JJJ as a teenager. Triple J in 1984-85 opened up my whole world to independent music, which was far more exciting than 2MMM and whatever was going on at the time that I thought. It was then I got exposed to punk shows, and a lot of misconceptions were burst. The music was fast and heavy, but unlike morons wiping each other up and strangling cats, there's actually a whole lot of intelligent stuff being said in the lyrics, often cynical of the society we're in. Music came across as being, many ideas that were talked about then are often taken for granted now, which shows an evolution in our mainstream culture. In some ways, punk has a funny dynamic. It's got a very politically incorrect side and a very politically correct side, and both things work together. It's a music, it's a philosophy, it's a lifestyle. It can include inebriated drunks to vegan feminists, straight edge activists. It includes so many different things. There are so many genres that actually go into the punk thing. There's a genre almost everything you can think of. Some of my favourite bands are often things I find to be intelligent, witty, fun, inspirational, and punk is a tool. Often the values are very aligned with the hippie thing of the ideology of the 60s. Some of the very politically influential bands of the 80s, such as Crass and Poison Girls, and that load important Poison Girls just had an 80th birthday a few weeks ago, vice versa. Some of those bands came from the 60s, and even some of those people even grew up in World War II. These particular bands are anarchist bands, and are philosophy very different from the Sex Pistols' anarchy in the UK. Many punks are vegetarian. It's almost impossible to be in the subculture without being exposed to the question. Animal liberation has been a big topic for many bands. There's also quite cynical against the prevailing mainstream culture and values such as consumerism and capitalism. It's also creative. Many albums come with elaborate artwork, fold-out posters, lyrics and literature. Many people in this genre are actually quite good artists too. It's humorous. Punk is chock full of humour. Humour is, in many ways, keeps the momentum going, and it's got humour in so many different ways. It's also wild and has a lot of shock value. It's kind of deliberate. Shock is a very important tool for sticking it up the mainstream. And here, Wendy Williams of the Plasmatics, who is very outrageous, was also a dedicated vegetarian and a lady in control. It's lots of things. It is music. It is fast, heavy, experimental, and originally it was cutting edge. It blends in different styles: techno, gothic, metal, ska, reggae. Chumbawamba, who did Tum Thumping, are a punk band. The Clash did reggae very well, as did Bad Brains. Punk was also a genesis which sped up heavy metal, and many speed metal bands such as Slayer and Sepultura trace the influences back to bands such as Discharge. It is a culture. I think in many ways it fulfills tribal and spiritual roles in many ways, including art, fashion and group identity. The lyrics of many albums provide quotes that people live by. Its values were originally misrepresented greatly, and I believe deliberately, by the mainstream media. And back to the radio show. What were the highlights? Well, over the years, what did I do? The McLibel interview, interviewed bands such as DOA, Box of Fish for local Sydney bands, Propaganda from Canada, Lone Spiders. There's some of the highlights of the show. We could go on. But how did the show last so long for 22 years? Well, it lasted with the help of many DJs who contributed to the show in their own ways, and they gave it their character. And a list of the people that helped me out over the years are all on the side there for reference. And concluding comments, in conclusion, I believe community initiatives in general are very important, and it's one of the biggest tools we've got. I also like to really stress the merits of community radio. It's essential for allowing information, topics, music, to be represented by people who are specialists and enthusiasts. And community radio stations, quite valuable. Support 2 Blue. That's my talk about doing a punk show on community radio for 22 years and why, hopefully a little bit of insight into the whole genre, and there's an audience feedback there too. Also, we've got a special PechaKucha lined up now. There's a music mix coming up. There's a music mix lined up. It's a very well thought out one. It's I'm sure you're guaranteed to like it. It comes with a slideshow in the background, and it kicks off with one of my favourite bands. The question often comes up, if you're into punk, what should I get into? And the Sex Pistols. Well, I don't even have any Sex Pistols records, even though yes, they were a punk band. One band I recommend to start with: get a Suck Higgins record and start from there. I reckon they're intelligent people, good musicians, they're definitely punk, and cool people. We're going to start off with a Subhuman song. And anyway, look, enjoy it. There's an intermission. Enjoy the entertainment. Come and go, and then PechaKucha will continue after this interlude. And by the way, it looks like we're trying to get the slideshow happening. So, it's technical stuff. Yes, there's the music mix. Okay, well, let's PechaKucha. Okay.
Thank you. On with the show. We will take a few minutes break. After the break, after the music show, we come back for the other presenters. Thank you.
And actually, one of my presenters is right in front of us here, Mr. Andrew Ford. And also the alternative music show, Wayne Deset's just up the back there on 2SER, dobbing people in. And who else can be dobbing? Peter Illick, who played in Groovinator, one of my bands, he's just up the back there too. Okay.
KD Chaos, 2RR Punk Show's biggest fan, and also plays an Anarchist Anonymous with me.
And I would like to say one thing: it is more than noise. Here we go. The sacred ones. Well,